Coca-Cola, maybe those soft drinks, or maybe
I
how
prefer
do you?
thumbs up.
Okay, okay, okay. So it's better. Thumbs Up brand is better than Coca-Cola.
No,
Okay,
no, I just prefer the taste of thumbs up.
okay, okay.
I
And
think as a brand, it's a little out there. I have
okay,
no idea what Akshay Kumar is doing there.
okay, okay. So and how do you rate the brand Coca-Cola overall? I mean,
Okay,
like you were mentioning,
it's
Sam had a,
iconic. What they have accomplished is nothing short of phenomenal. And uh, you know, I know of people who will drink only Diet Coke. That's it. They will drink nothing else. And you need to do things right for a long time to build that kind of loyalty.
One question in the front before we go back. Origin of the word Dolally. Yeah, I think I was going to ask you that question, but I think
It's broadly what Colonel Saib said. Since the arrival of uh, the Britishers in India, very early on, Devlali started off as being a transit camp, as in a place where when new soldiers used to arrive, they used to be acclimatized in Dolali before being sent out on whatever missions. And then when there was a group of soldiers who had to be decommissioned to be sent back, they were again got back to Devlali, where they were dekitted. They were told to wait there till the next ship with freshmen coming from England came, which took them back. Typically, I think these guys were dekitted and all that sometime February, March, and the ships came sometime in June. So about nice summer heat of Nashik in the middle of nowhere. If Devlali even today is a little pastoral in a sense, right? It's very pastoral. It's slow, dhire dhire, typical. You go to a restaurant, आधा घंटे के बाद चाय आएगा scene and all of that. Back then, so it would have been like really vague, right? So these bunch of people who have been away from their houses for a long time are sitting there with no supervision because their sahibs would be in Mumbai. So they would lose it a little bit, right? Some of them would like drink excessively and get into mischief. Some of them would just, the heat would get to them and create mischief, which is why so many sanatoriums near Devlali, by the way, just in case you're wondering. So this sense of losing it got to be known as Devlali Tap. Devlali Tap, which became Dolali Tap, and which later became Going Dolali. Going Dolali is even a slightly unused but still a common phrase in English language. और ये महेश ने दिया है नाम. Mahesh Murthy is one of my investors and a director on my board. He is the best thing that has happened to us. As in, literally, he's handcrafted the DNA of my brand. He's handcrafted the DNA of my brand. He is a partner in seed fund, and we had pitched to seed fund, and they had said कि नहीं दारू बनाने का सीन है तुम्हारा, हम पैसा नहीं दे सकते तुमको. And Mahesh was there in the pitch, and he said that, hey, you know what, as a fund we can't give it because there are mandate issues, but I'm willing to invest in personal capacity. It just so happens that in his advertising days, Mahesh has worked on a very big craft beer brand, like from when it was a brew pub like ours, Widmer Brothers naam ka. So he has had the experience of handholding it from the time it was a brew pub to, well, it's a listed company now. So he saw the potential of what we were doing. He was heartened by the fact that we were not delusional enough to say कि beer हम खुद ही बनाएंगे. He was heartened.
You were not Dolally enough to.
He was heartened to see Oliver, a red-blooded German national, sitting next to us saying कि हम beer बनाएंगे. That actually that must have overpowered a lot of stupid things I must have said in that presentation. Just Oliver being there. Painful, horribly, horribly painful. Painful. It's something that if you have a product or a business model that you cannot demo, right? It's a little difficult to raise money. So now, it's very easy for me to raise money. Why? Because I have a glass in front of you. I'm saying that, this is what I'm selling. But at that time, it was some vague presentations and three idiots, no, two, even Oliver wasn't there. Oliver came once the money started happening. Two idiots walking around claiming that they'll set up a beer company. It's a little strange, right? Imagine someone walking up to you and saying, हम beer बनाएंगे. अरे क्या beer बनाएंगे? You know how dirty the trade is. You know how difficult the excise is. So it was difficult, but again, as I said, none of the difficulty was unanticipated. Yes, some things took longer than they expected, but I think it's more because we were naive to predict some timelines and not because the.
One question I was going to ask you, I missed out, right? This is especially in context of our Puneri plant series, right? Is you're from Nashik, so I don't know where you're from, right? Why Pune?
Pune because, okay, first level of filter, some vague notion that if you're doing business in a geography, at least one of you needs to know the local language, right? So that rules out Andhra, that rules out Karnataka. Done. Okay, so then you're left with, let's say, Delhi and Noida and Sindh and Maharashtra. Now, we knew for a fact that Delhi is impossible because Delhi is still not happened, in case it happened, because there is this some strange environmental scene happening over there. So the choice really was between UP and Maharashtra. Yeah, I don't think it was much of a choice there. So then it was Mumbai and Pune. I'm sorry, nothing against UP. I just didn't have the, no, not the corrections, the study emotional wherewithal to do business in UP, man. I don't think I have it. Okay, Pratik has it, to give him credit, but I don't have it. I don't think Oliver has it either. So we said, okay, Maharashtra, because
You're from Nashik.
so I know the local language, plus Nashik is a small town, so no, the administration for licensing would be easy.
Yeah, so this concept of microbrewery is definitely interesting and new for Pune. I have spent a few years in Germany, and I know that in Germany, every other lane or neighborhood, as it is said, there are these kind of breweries, and
Correct.
people even have traditional houses. They have their own breweries.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And, it is so. As there was a question about Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola always claim that they have a formulation, which they say is secret. Actually, technologically, it is not possible that they can keep it secret. But formulation is very important thing. Means how you make it. For example, strains and then ingredients to make the beer is very important. So, if you say that the lager which was made in Czechoslovakia, the native ingredients are very important. I mean, say water.
Sure,
or
in some cases, of course.
So what do you think that, I mean, can you stimulate that kind of thing here in Pune?
Why would I want to do that when there are 2,000 other things I can do, right? Why would I want to clone another beer? There is really no reason. There are infinite possibilities. Why? So I'm not understanding your question. Whether I'll be able to clone a Pilsner Urquell sitting in Pune, I think I can come pretty close. Okay. Why? Because yeah, it's a Pilsner lager. I broadly know what kind of water composition and all scene is happening there. It might not be exactly that, but it will be close. But the real question is, would I want to do that? And the answer is no. Second, coming to having intellectual property over formulations and all that, again, in theory it is possible. In theory it is possible for me to become all khufiya and develop my own yeast strains and say, oh, it is my secret ingredient and things like that. Or I can say, hey, you know what, there are just way too many beers to be made to start worrying about some random yeast strain. So, no, till I run out of beers to make, I don't think I'll be worrying about either a secret ingredient, or I don't think I'll be worrying about replacing another beer.
Suketu, on that, right, I have a quick follow-up, right? You have different brews that you make every few months or
Every month, every month. We add a new beer every month.
You have a couple of two or three
Staples.
brand, right?
We have staples.
What do you think is your signature brand, or what would you like?
The Hefeweizen, the wheat beer, without doubt. I think the apple cider outsells the Hefeweizen, but in the longer run, I think हम नाम बनाएंगे हमारे Hefeweizen से.
I agree.
strange serendipity, man. Guys, I cannot overstate the importance of serendipity in where we are today. No, it's so strange. Okay, so one of the earlier stupidities that Pratik and I did was we started hunting for real estate even before we had find a license application. Random. Let's look for real estate. Why? Because we should know what the real estate scene is like. So we went through a 2-month phase. You're finding feet as entrepreneurs, right? This is overwhelming. There are thousands of things to do and you have no idea what is happening around you. So we went through a 2-month phase wherein we were looking for real estate. Now, one of my friends, when I was studying for CAT in Pune, is a builder's daughter. Okay, and she's a good friend. Minoti, you have met her, that tall, thin girl. So when we started looking for real estate, of course, the first person was to go to Minoti's dad. So looking for real estate. And him being a busy builder, he said, ki, indulge me for 15-20 minutes, pa beta, acha beta, so on and so forth. Put me on to a broker. Ki, bhaiya ye le aur sambhal. And one of the things that that broker had shown us, because I'm guessing this was an unsellable, unpitchable property back then, because what year was this? 2005. I'm talking about 2006, early 2006. I mean, if you look at Corinthians Club, even today it is out of whack, man. Back then, to out of nowhere started right after an IBM. So he said कि नहीं आपकी चीज के लिए वही जगह बहुत अच्छी है, and then he took us there, and it is this weird, strange looking thing that comes out in the middle of nowhere, and they had lots of vacant, wide places left. Pratik and I got sight and we left from there. We said कि boss, मतलब यहाँ पे anything you try to sell, your business will be canned completely. And then when the license came along, by that time it was very clear that we will not be able to raise money to do both the beer and the food side of this. There are two elements to it. There is a full service restaurant and there is a bloody full functioning brewery making about 20,000 liters every month or so. So imagine the complexity of doing both. So originally, in the three geniuses that we are, we thought, oh, awesome, we are the kings and we will do both. And we tried to raise money to do both. No one gave money. They said that, you know what, yeah, sure, one of you knows how to make beer, but when it comes to running a restaurant, and plus investing in restaurants is a risky proposition, man. Nobody wants to invest in restaurants, seriously. And so it became pretty clear by then that the only way we can actually do this if we choose to do just one and then find someone who has the jugger and who has the capability to do the rest. So that's how this rather strange business model that we have evolved. It was a need. So again, no blinding insight or anything. Need. And so then we started looking for people who had hospitality businesses and who had large open spaces. And guess whom we remembered.
Just one or two more questions.
Yeah. Hi, I have a question that you are operating in one of the most regulated industry. Have you seen the regulations evolving over a period of 5-6 years that you have interacted with government?
I have. Honestly, I have. As in, see, wishing regulation away is never going to happen. Okay, and I'll tell you there is a hard economic reason for it. The hard economic reason is that 33% of our state's revenue, or actually even more than that, come from excise.